It's Jenny. This is my August wrap-up. It's a bit late, sorry for that, but I haven't had time to film it before now. The beginning of August was a very good reading month for me, because there was the 77 readathon that coincided with a yearathon with the theme of middle grade books. So I read a lot during the first whole week of August. Then I sort of went into a reading slump, in lack of better words, but I sort of read some books during that time as well. Anyway, sort of. So yeah, my wrap up then. The first book I read in August was The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, as you can see here, because I've returned the book to my friend from whom I lent it. This one, I have done a full review of it, so I'll link it down below if you want to see it. I gave it 4 stars because I really liked it. It was a contemporary with love, and you sort of get where it's going because of the title. It's a girl and a boy. The girl is 16, I think, and the boy was 18. They meet at an airport. Then when I finished that one, the same day, I picked up this one. It's The Walking Dead, the series. It's volume 17, Something to Fear. In this one, I don't want to tell you too much about it, but there's some deaths that one didn't rather think would happen. And yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I don't want to share too much about the content of this one because it's volume 17, as I said. It's a comic book, as you can see. Graphic novel, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, sorry. Show the most graphic one then. Yeah. But I read this one and gave it 4 stars. I liked it. But I'm sort of almost getting tired of this series now, so yeah, we'll see how much more I read. Then, also the same day, if I'm not mistaken, I picked up the 5th book in the series called My Boyfriend is a Monster. This book is called I Date Dead People. It's the story is written by Anne Kearns, and it's illustrated by Janina Gurrison. So also a graphic novel. This series, on the other hand, is something you can talk about. Each book is a standalone. It's just that the girl falls in love with some kind of supernatural boyfriend. And this one, this girl, I think she's named Nora. She goes to high school, I think. Her family moves into a house. It seems to be haunted, and she sort of connects with a guy who died hundreds of years ago, and that's him. They sort of get involved, and yeah. The problem is he is not the one who's haunting the house. There are other bad souls in it. So yeah, you get the story a bit, at least. It was an okay story. I gave it 3 stars. And yeah, read it if you want to. Oh, that didn't go well. Then the yearathon and the 77 readathon happened. I have done a wrap-up video for those books I read during that week. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description box. So I won't be talking too much about the books. The first book I read was Antiquarium Blue Mirror by Martin Widmark. It's a series. It's the first book in the series called David and Larissa. They go to middle grade, got to be, because it's a middle grade book. And yeah, it's a somewhat supernatural element to the books in this series, but there's also sort of a crime vibe to it as well. I really liked it. This one wasn't as good as the rest of the series, parts in the series, so I only gave this one 3 stars. The next one I picked up was the second one in the series. It's called The 13th Guest. This one I gave 4 stars. This is more of a mixes in existentialism and yeah, cloning and stuff like that. Interesting books. Then I picked up and read. This is called Dork Diaries: Tales from a Not So Fabulous Life by Rachel Renee Russell. It's the first book about Nikki. She's going to a private school on a scholarship, and you get to follow her. But this one takes place. Nikki is 14 years old, although this is a middle grade book because Nikki's a bit childish. So that's my thought on why this is considered as a middle grade book. It's the first book in the series, so yeah, I will continue reading this series because at the end I really liked it. But because of the childish beginning, I only gave it 3 stars. Fourth book I read during the readathon was the third book in the David and Larissa series. It's called The Fool's Island. The Fool's Island, or yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. But yeah, it's in psychology, mental hospital and quantum physics involved in this book. I gave it 4 stars. It was really good. So yeah. Then I picked up the Sami Shaman's Song, also in the David and Larissa series. It's the 4th book. It's still during the readathon I read this. I gave it 4 stars. It's about the reindeer keepers up north in Sweden, about how and what rights they have to their grounds and stuff like that. So yeah, really liked it. Then I picked up, still during the readathon, The Girl on the Painting by Rebecca Åhlund. It's a standalone middle grade book, a bit scary, but I didn't think it was that scary as I thought it would be. I only gave it 2 stars, and I'll explain more in the wrap-up for the readathons. If you want to check it out, do that. Yeah. Then I picked up, oh darn, what's this called in English then? The Fire Chronicle. It's the second book in the Book of Beginnings by John Stevens. This is a Swedish copy. I read half of it during the readathon and finished it afterwards. I didn't like the first one as much as I did with this one, but this one I gave 4 stars because it was really good. It was action-packed, and yeah, it's about Kate, Emma and Michael. They're looking for the second book this time. In the first one they look for the first book, of course. The second book is the Fire Chronicle, and they fight dragons and illusions and yeah, stuff like that. It's very interesting, and I really look forward to reading the third one in the series. It comes out in Swedish in September, so that won't be far off. So yeah, I really like this one. Don't want to say too much about it, seeing that it's the second part in a series. I think I'll do a series review when I've read the third one, so you'll find out more about them. But really like this one. Then I picked up the 5th book in the David and Larissa series. It's Under a Sky of Glass. In this one, David and Larissa gets a scholarship, sort of, and gets to travel to a research center in the middle of the Atlantic. Not far from Iceland. And they're supposed to stay for a couple of days and study the oceanic life, wildlife, sort of. But they stumble upon a strange society at the bottom of the Atlantic. They've been encapsulated there since the Cuba crisis in 1960 something. I don't remember the year when the Cuba crisis was took place. But yeah, it's very interesting and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Then I read the 4th book in the David and Larissa series. I've returned it because it's a library copy. It's called Cleopatra's Garden. It takes place in Rome. They're there to visit with the antiquarian keeper Melchior. A friend of his, Melchior that is has found parts of an ancient map from Rome, from the Roman Empire, and she's going to talk about it with the press and tell them about it and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's why they are in Rome, and Melchior invited Larissa and David to come along, and they do. And there they encounter a strange group of people who sort of kidnap them, and they want to change society and sort of a new religion based on the Christianity, and yeah, it's complicated but very interesting. I gave this book 4 stars because it was so interesting and it gives you a deeper understanding of religion. Yeah, and the last book I finished in August was Sword Princess Amalthea by Natalie Batista. It's the 2nd book in the series. It's in Swedish, unfortunately. It's a manga. It's a series where the gender roles are reversed. As I might have said into a book haul about it. Princess Amalthea, in the 1st book, she is set out to save a prince, and then she's going to take that prince to his mother's queendom, it has to be, and marry that prince and so on and so forth. And in this one, she and the prince that she saved in the 1st one is on their way to the queendom of the prince's mother. So yeah, it was a bit more action-packed, and you got a bit more character development in this one compared to the other one. I also found out that this is supposed to be a trilogy, so it's only going to be 1 more book, and I really look forward to reading the 3rd one. I gave this one 3 stars, by the way. So yeah, that was all. I read a total 13 books, I think, during August. So it's a really good reading month, despite the fact that I sort of got tired of reading after the readathons. But I hope to be getting back my desire to read now during September. But we'll see. Yeah, I won't drag out this video any longer. So I hope you have a great day. I see you in my next video, and happy reading, people!